Welcome, hello, Yasu. Hi, my name is Ty Kölner, and today's topic will be Magician Empath, the Furious, Fearless Warrior. So, I just was watching a video, a speech of the Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson, and he brought up some very interesting topics. I will get onto that, but just to put it in a nutshell, if you are an empath, if you are overwhelmed by impacts from outside, and you're consciously or unconsciously always meeting the wrong people, heads up, because there are some news for you. So, to those who don't know me yet, I will introduce a little, so to cast on light who I am, what I'm doing, and also make sure to subscribe the channel if you want to stay updated and switch on the notifications so you get informed when I do some new videos. Today it will be a little more into psychology. My name is Ty Kölner. I'm an author, I'm a black magician, I'm a follower of the Magicain Empath, so I'm doing pretty much of shadow works. I'm working with a Clifford, I'm doing invocations, I'm doing divinations, I'm doing in rune work, and so on. So I'm a magician. But also I'm an empath, and this is what is following me all my life. And in some of my earlier videos, I was explaining about my childhood time, what was not given on flowers. To put it in harsh, direct words, it was child abuse until my age of 19, when I liberated and said, okay, I move out. So, putting in a nutshell, this is it. Of course, there is a longer story about, but you can imagine if you are an empath facing that, it is a very harsh impact to your early years. So also that I was the older one of three, so I was trying to make sure they are safe. However, today it is about the strength of an empath. And this clarified the speech of John Patterson very much. So I will get into this. I did put the video down into my list as well, because I think his speech was great. You will find it at Studies and Works of Value. There I did link it. So if you want the whole frame of his speech. Today I will get into the personal frame, while he was getting into the relationship between a narcissism and an empath person. So the relationship, how they first depend on each others, and how the empath is the obviously weaker one, but hide and run if they awake. This is when a narcissist suddenly stands within nothing, within a desert, if an empath decides to retreat and to claim on their own power. So this was a great speech, but it did cast light onto some other points I want to tell you today. So if you are an empath, you should open your ears, because you're full of power. And this is a skill only an empath can bring forth. So following my previous video, hidden impacts of childhood, I will link it at the end of the video. There is another extension of mine, this empathic gift, what is impacting my development of life. Following the video before, the hidden impacts of childhood, it was about the time when you are unconscious, so not an ego pattern on yourself before you get into kindergarten, etc., etc. And so the impacts you're getting in are the points which are corrupting your personality maybe, but you cannot remember about the happenings, so you cannot dissolve it as you could do on things which you consciously remember about. If you want to know more about that, watch that video. I will get a link at the end. However, today's You know it by heart, I guess. If you say, I am an empath, people say, yeah, but you trample my nerves. You're clinchy. You speak too much. Yeah. And also, I feel every shit everyone is walking by and is carrying with them. Just saying. So, yeah. And people are laughing about. People are smiling about if you say you feel everything, what is rolling by. So, of course, the first thing you do learn is how to shield before that. And in the first years, it is really overwhelming. And in a case of child abuse or in a later point of an abusive parship, it is a special way of horror trip you're going through because you feel everything around you. These are things which an empath is feeling very clearly. Or if we follow up for Mr. Patterson's explaining the narcissist who is into forcing somebody else into his own world perception and is trying to form the other one as he wants them to be. This is something you feel as well as an empath. But you have another benefit. You're sensing very, very deep. And because you can do, you are also an impact to other people. And we are very optimistic, normally. We are very optimistic. We believe that people are learning by viewing your action. We believe that people are sensing like we do. So if you get to somebody warm-hearted, you will tint an ice block. If you are open and friendly and clear from your mind, you think that the other one will take you as an example. But there are certain characters which are ticking in another way, such as Mr. Patterson did describe on the narcissist, or on a child abuse home, or on a radical aggressive parship, whatever so. But they all forget something. An empath, because of this 24/7 impacts of other humans' emotions, we are used to pain. We enjoy if there is something beautiful. And we enjoy if there are nice sensations. But also, we are able to handle pain in a very other way than the most people who do not feel. They do feel, but they do not feel like an empath does. So he brought up some points which I never understood why I did so. For example, I never broke. There were many who did try to form or shape me as they wanted to. And a few of them were also aiming to break me in my past. So just for a little fun fact, that was so-called Satanists. Today I know Satanists, which is serious working, and compared to them, these guys of my past were children playing. But these children playing did not understand that they picked the wrong one to try on. Because an empath appears soft and very easy to harm. To put it in a short word, they appear a good target. But they are stronger. They are not to break. They are not to push down, because there is a border. And when we decide something is going wrong, we start to gaze into it. And not just from the outer surface, we gaze into that. And so we unveil the original aim the other one is doing. So somebody who is just trying to shape you after his will, or somebody who is sadistic, beating up whoever every day, or somebody who is helpless and just doesn't know how to do better as for parents on child abuse, you lose the respect before this person. And in this very moment, you liberate from them. So in your pain, in your moment, when you start to cut the lines, you are in pain, but in this pain, you grow. And this is something they totally forget, because contrary to other people who are not empaths, we are used to feel pain and we are able to cut cords. Okay, cutting a cord is even more pain, but we grow on this. We do not break. And this is the very difference, because if you normally see people, you hear their voice, you see their eyes, you hear the words, and this is everything you got. Maybe the body language. You just turn around and then you're gone. But as an empath, you get a very much deeper connection. So your emotional body, however you name it in a spiritual way, your energy is merging to that person you're reading. So when you decide, know what, I don't need you in my life, you're just a motherfucker stealing my time, and I will not be your puppy. In this moment, when you start to cut the lines, it is not about cut and forget. It is literally you need to track out yourself from the other one. So this is really pain, but we can handle it. And this is very rough when it comes to boundaries. What is parship? What is family? What is a beloved one or a dear friend or somebody who does mean very much to you? So they will stop speaking to you if you did harm them. And if an empath is stopping speaking, you know something is wrong. He's cutting cords. He's sorting things. And when he's ready done sorting things, he is ready done on cutting boundaries. And not only on the one who did try to harm. They are also cutting boundaries within themselves. So in a question, as Mr. Patterson also said, I can just agree, you reflect about, why did I even do so? What was my trigger to get this near to this person? What did I learn from this? And how can I grow on this? How can I make up my mind? And how can I stand my own man or woman without these people? Moreover, you think about how to teach them to grow into something better. And this is a special gift we got. We are able to grow from that. But if we are in a state when we liberate, when we undo these boundaries, when we get out these people out of our lives, we gather something of a maturing. We start to create our own goals, our own values, our own loyalties. And if we decide to stand for our goals, our loyalties, we will be a strong partner to those who deserve it, and we will be a cold shoulder to those who don't. And this in return, of course, makes it a laughter if you say you're an empath, because these people would disagree about that you are even sensing them, not recognizing that you are blocking them. But on the other side, you got a very deep connection to those who are valued for your support, and in this support, you're boundless. One could say it's a unification with your purpose. One could say it is a cleaning up of your past. One also could say it's an evolution from your human pattern you were born with. So, however, you are no longer a target. you're stronger than them, and you're a mighty warrior, because in a case of manipulation, they try to speak on you. They try and make you emotional. But in that very moment, you will cut the cord and you will be an ice block to them. I can confirm very much about what Mr. Patterson said. So I can just say empaths appear weak often. They appear warm-hearted, very caring, and they are indeed. But if you piss their shoes, and if you try to disform them into something what they are not, you will find a warrior. And you will find a warrior who is fighting in a way you're not used to. Also, when you got an empath who is also pathing a spiritual path or a magician path, it is about energy guiding, redirecting of energies. And you should never underestimate that the pain an empath is able to carry is nothing against what others do handle, because we are used to. And if we decide to battle this into a flock of energy, this is a weapon. So in a case of self-defense, you also should never play with an empath. If an empath is one of your friends, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, it is no cutie. It is a strong warrior at your side. And if somebody outside thinks it is an easy target to get for, sweeties, you're wrong. If you are the empath, and if you always felt like you're not taking for real, you're just feeling all the shit and you feel weak about that, remember what you went through already. And become conscious about that your empathic gift is a strength not many got. If you combine it with studying energy streams, and if you combine it with self-reflection, there is a potential of growth waiting for you. So you're everything but not weak. This for tonight. Yes, it was a great speech of Mr. Patterson, and I can just announce you to really listen all the full story. And if you got an empath and you don't understand them, probably then you should listen this as well. Good night, and talking next time.